Hi everyone, welcome to the part 2. After my last video, I was asked to show more clearly all pencils which I used in part 1. I don't think that for pictures like this, it's extremely important to have exactly the same colors which I used from Prismacolor set. I think that only when you color portraits, there it's really important to have the same shades and to follow directly if you love tutorial. Here, when we have very small objects and where you can easily change colors, it's much more important simply to understand the idea that for the leaves you simply use one darker and one lighter shade of green, and you can add for the better variety of greens one yellow-green pencil if you have it. To color the birdhouse, you simply need 3 shades of brown colors, from beige to mid brown and to dark brown, and it's not so important if you have Prismacolors or any other sets where you can find any 3 shades of browns. And for the roof, you simply need reddish brown. It could be burnt ochre, it could be terracotta or any other colors. That's why I called this video Coloring for Beginners, that I think that it's possible to follow with any brands of pencils, even budget one. Let's start from finishing coloring flower pots, which I forgot to color in previous part. I will be using exactly the same colors as I already used for 2 flower pots. The lighter color for the more highlighted area of the pot is pumpkin orange, and for the shadow area I will be using terracotta. Obviously, upper part of the pot is more highlighted, and part which is standing inside of the wheelbarrow will be a little bit darker. You may notice that for now I don't color flowers inside the pots. It will be much easier for me to do it in the end. For now I want to color the brightest elements on the picture, then I will decide where I need to put pastel colors, where I need to add a little bit of bright colors, so flowers will help me in the end to create more well-balanced color composition. For now, I want to color 2 brightest elements on the whole picture. From the beginning I knew that I wanted to do boots and wheelbarrow as the brightest elements, so obvious color choice was red. You know that when I color even the small objects, I always try to use at least 2 shades of each color. So for the wheelbarrow you will need bright red color as the main one and something to shade it. For me it will be black raspberry. You can use any dark red or brown red colors, whatever you have in your sets. As usual, I imagine that the light source is in the left upper corner, and I use this trick. I put pen to represent a ray of light, and it helps me to decide which areas are highlighted where a ray of the light can reach, and which areas are far from the light source where light can reach, and in this way which areas I need to shade. First I cover everything with crimson red, and then I will shade bottom part of the card which is closer to the ground and where light can reach, and opposite part to the light source. And I also will be shading inner part of the card where pots are standing. You may notice that when I was coloring with carmine red, I left couple of uncolored areas, areas which will be representing highlights on the surface of the wheelbarrow, and now I add jasmine to those areas to show that everything is highlighted by the sun and have everything has this pale yellow reflections. For the wheel, obviously I will be using black, but while I color wheel, I try to vary pressure on my black pencil. Upper part will be more highlighted, so there I put lesser pressure and upper part of the wheel looks like pale gray. Inner part is and part which is closer to the ground obviously will be much darker, and in order to get nice opaque blue I press harder on my black pencil. When I colored boots, I combined the same colors which I used for the wheelbarrow, crimson red for the more highlighted part, which will be left side of each boot, and raspberry black for the right side, and I need also to shade area between two boots, where the boot which is on the forefront will be casting shadow on the boot which is slightly behind. Next, I decided to color topiary in the central part and daffodils. I haven't decided yet which colors to use for the flowers, and honestly I don't have any idea what kind of flowers are they. Maybe they are roses or maybe not. I decided that for now I will color leaves, and again I use lime peel. You remember that we already used lime peel for the leaves around the birdhouse? Simply use some yellow-green pencil from your set. I wanted these leaves to have slightly different green hue comparing to those leaves which we colored near the frame of the picture. So here I wanted more yellow-green leaves. Obviously for the daffodils I will be using various shades of yellow, and the one of the yellow colors, canary yellow, I decided to use for flowers. I didn't cover all those flowers completely, so later if I want and if I need, I will be able to add additional colors to the flowers of this small tree. As a second green color for the tree I used Kelly green, and again I already used it for the green around birdhouse, so I really try to limit amount of colors I used on this picture. I try to use the same pencils multiple times for various objects. Next element to color is a watering can. And in the beginning I thought that I will be coloring can with various shades of gray to show that it's made from steel. But now I think that it's too boring and I still want some bright element here. So I decided to use blue colors, but at least as a main color I selected Mediterranean blue, which for me is blue with a little addition of gray into it, so it's quite natural blue. And I love it because you can get nice intensity of color if you use a lot of pressure, and you can get very tender blue from this pencil if you use only a little bit of pressure. Again, the left side of the watering can will be much more highlighted comparing to the right side. Also, I indicated that along the left side will be highlighted areas on the shiny surface of the watering can, so you can see that I left several uncolored areas. When I go from left to right, gradually I start to press harder on my Mediterranean blue pencil in order to get more intense blue color. In the areas where various elements of the can are connected one to another, like holder to the main part of the watering can or nose to the main part, all those areas I will need to shade. First, I will switch to darker shade of blue. I will be using Copenhagen blue color for the right side of the watering can, and then to indicate more prominent shadows and to increase contrast on the watering can, I will be using black, or you can use 90% cool gray or Payne's gray from Polychromos set, whatever dark color you own. The darkest shadows will be in the areas where elements of the watering can are connected. For example, where hold is attached to the body of the watering can, or where nose is attached to it. Also, I will do a prominent dark shadow along the right side of the watering can, and I prefer to use polychromos pencils, either dark indigo or Payne's gray, together with blue Prismacolors. I colored this watering can applying two layers. On the first step I indicated all highlighted and shadow areas, and after that with the same pencils from Mediterranean blue to Copenhagen blue I try to put second layer to get more intense blue color, to create a more smooth color gradient, to intensify contrast, and to work on the highlights. Highlights later I will cover with additional layer of white.